Yes, can you see the screen, students? Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please respond like that. So how many of
Yes,
you,
sir.
solved this particular question? So we had left it here, right? So this was the question given to you previously. So from this, so you are not able to find out because you told me too many parameters are given to you. But again, I want to repeat: this is the minimum what they can give you. Okay, this is the minimum. Okay, so it can be like twice of this or thrice of this particular thing what is being given, because if there are 4 to 5 different constraints are given to you, so again it would be like 8 to 10 lines more. Okay, so usually that's why they'll avoid giving you this particular formulation problems, but rarely you might find one. So usually, as I told you in the this was a part of a earlier semester's portion, but they have changed it now. So they used to give around 3 questions. So out of which 2 were directly formulation was given to you. You need to draw the graph and find out the maximum or minimum depending on what was asked. Okay, and there could be one problem where formulation was asked or formulation plus the solution was asked for 10 marks. So these kind of problems would be there because of this particular huge what do you call question. So they used to avoid basically. So only one question it was okay. So usually you'll get around 2 sheets of paper, 4 sides of question paper. You already know, like statistics or accounts you might have seen. So 4 sides, something like that. You'll get the question paper. Okay. So this was the question. Then this was the table that we prepared, and using the table, okay, we have found out the objective function. Then these two constraints. So I had written this was for nitrogen N. Yeah, I'll just write it again. This was for nitrogen. Yes, this was for nitrogen, and this was for phosphorus. So we have seen this till here. So anybody is having doubt here? Okay, so just let me know, or I'll just briefly I'll explain what we did. Okay, because we were not able to solve this, I want to tell you again. Okay, so minimum z, this is what is asked. We want to have minimum cost. Okay, so minimum cost in the sense we need to have cost in your objective function. So it should be related to cost. So you already know there are two products A and B. So for A it will be X1, always write that, let X1 be number of bags of A and number of bags of B for X2. So that let has to be written here. Okay, here let. So I have not written here. So earlier it was written. So make sure you are not skipping anything. Let X1 and X2 be number of bags of A and B respectively. That you can write. Then, as I told you, it is minimization of cost. So cost will be there. So always you remember 40 into number of bags of X1. Why 40? It is cost of product A. Okay, 40 into X1 here. Then plus 24 X2. Why X2? Because it is number of bags of B, and 24 is the cost of per bag. So it is 24 X2. So this is will this what is equation will be a objective function. So it should include cost and nothing else. Okay, then subject to what constraints? So they are giving you two. That is, one nitrogen should be so much and phosphorus should be so much. So again, 3 parameters each should be given to you in X1, in X2, and total. Okay, so total in the sense it should be less than, greater than, okay, not less than, not more than. Okay, so not more than in the sense less than or equal to you should write. Not less than if they give, it should be greater than or is equal to. Those things you should be clearly mentioning. In the sense you should find out in the question, it will be given. So similarly, I'll go back, I'll tell you like what is being asked over here in this case. In this case here, at least means minimum of, no less than. So again, minimum of this much should be added. In the sense, minimum in the sense is equal to that much or more than that. Similarly, at least is equal to or more than that. Okay, so all other things are given. That's why we make this particular tabular column so that you don't find any mistakes or you don't have any mistakes while solving it. So as and when you go on solving more and more sums, So you will reach a stage where you don't need this particular table. You can directly looking at the problem, you will get to know, okay, what is my objective function, what it should contain. Okay, then you will find out what kind of constraints are given to me directly. Then based on those constraints, you can directly write the equation of the constraints. So you need to reach that level by practicing. So these are the two things where they have given. So for nitrogen, in the sense, we need to have both the like both the parameters for nitrogen only. One nitrogen, one phosphorus will not help. So it is 80 and 50. Nitrogen, if you see here, it is like this: 80, 50. Okay, for A it is 80, for B it is 50, and it should be minimum of 7200. Means it should be greater than or equal to. If you see here, greater than or equal to 7200. Okay, then similarly for phosphorus it is 20 and 50. So this should be the things. So it is 20x1 and 50x2. See here, if you want to see, yeah, 20x1 and 50x2. Again, not less than. So minimum, so it should be greater than or equal to 4800. Then non-negativity condition x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0 should always be written. So this is the formulation part. Now, how many of you solved after this? Like you found out the points and you drew the graph. Anyone? If yes, tell us. If no, not an issue. We'll solve today. Did anyone try? Hey students, can you hear me or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then respond, my dear students. I'll be in dilemma whether there is a technical problem.
Yes, sir.
Shall I put this slide?
Yes, sir.
Then you got the answer. Can you tell us the answer? Yeah. Okay, fine. So you might be hesitating as it is a new kind of a problem. So I've got you the solution as well. So you can see here. So 80x1 plus 50x2 greater than or equal to 7200. 20x1 plus 50x2 greater than or is equal to 4800. So see here that in the previous problem, for getting these particular values, we had taken half a page. Here I did it in the same line. How? Directly divide this 7200, that is 80 divided by 7200 into x1 plus 50 divided by 7200 into x2. We are getting x1 by 90 and x2 by 144 greater than or is equal to 1. Okay, similarly, again divide the whole equation with 4800. So it will be 20x1 divided by 4800 will give me x1 by 240 plus 50x2 by 4800 will give me x2 by 96, which is greater than or equal to 1. So my points are 90 x1. For x1 it is 90. For x2 it is 144. For x1 it is 240. For the second line, for x2 it is 96. Okay, so if you want, you can use this particular method or the second method what I told you. Put x1 is equal to 0, find x2. Okay, then put x2 is equal to 0, find x1 for both the equations. So no need to do both the methods. The answer will remain the same. Okay, whichever method you are comfortable with, please do it. Okay, so now what are the things? So x1 I am having 90 and 240. So I have to at least reach from 0 to 240 here. So depending upon your this one what scale, at least I need to reach 240. Okay, 240 has to be written. Sorry, not here. Here 240 is the maximum for x1. For x2, what is maximum? 144. So here I have to at least reach till 144. Where I have written more than that, not an issue. But for the first point, that is 90, 144. If you see here, where is 90? 90 is here. So I have taken 20 each. 1 centimeter is equal to 20 units. 20, 40, 60, 80 is there. So between 80 and 100, I am getting my point 90. So I am drawing a point here. Okay, then what is the other one? 144. Okay, so this is 150 in between. Again, this is 20 that I have taken. 20, 40, 60. Okay, so only difference that I will be getting or you will be getting, little bit difference is there because I have taken, this may not be, each line is not 1 centimeter. Okay, but I have taken like that. So you may take like this, there will be slight variation or exactly 1 centimeter you can take, like the previous problem. See here, exactly I have taken here. So it is not to one line, it is 1 centimeter. So this is 1 centimeter, so this much, so it is more than your one line distance, so this much is 1 centimeter. Okay, so here the angle of the line changes and the point varies a little bit, so your answer also has some variation. That's why I told you use a graph shape where everything is defined 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. Each box will be of 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter. You can directly draw, and further each centimeter is divided into 10 parts. So you will get the point accurately and you can put it. So here, if you see in our problem, it is 144 here. To get that 144, it will be very difficult, right? So this is 150 here, 140, and in between it will be 150. So my 144 will be below this. So I have marked a point here, 144. Then I'll mark a circle just for your reference. No need to mark a circle, okay? So then draw this particular straight line. So and write the equation. So what is the equation? 80x1 plus 50x2 greater than or equal to 7000. So this line is of this particular equation. So coming to the second one, 240 comma 96. So 240x, in the x-axis it is 240. So this is 240 is here. I'll mark. Then second one is 96. So it is here 96. So just below 100. 100 is here. 96 will be somewhere here. 4 points lesser than 100. So draw a line. Then again write the equation. 20x1 plus 50x2 greater than or equal to 4800. So this is my second equation. Line of second equation. Now after drawing this line, we need to check for the sign. So it is whether greater than or equal to, whether less than or equal to. What is this? Both. It is greater than or equal to. The sign is greater than or equal to. So greater than, first I'll take this particular line. Okay, that is 240 and 144. Greater in the sense I told you, greater you have to move towards right side. Lesser we need to move towards left side. So greater on the y-axis should go towards top. Lesser should go towards down. Okay, this number should tell you directly. Okay, as and when you go up and up, you are getting 120, 140, 160, 180. So this is greater than. Lesser than 120, 100, 80, 60. This we are going lesser than. Similarly here, 120, 140, 160, and to go back it will be 120, 100, 80, and all. So what is given here? It is greater than. So for greater than, it should be on this side. Okay, on this side. So my I'll mark in different color if you want till you understand. So I'll just change the color. So for this line, it is like this. I'll mark a straight line. This is the area where we are interested in, which the line is saying greater than. So this is the area. Okay, then coming to the next one, I'll just change the color again. Okay, so here if you see, second line is this, that is 90, sorry, 90, 144. So this is 90 and here it is 144. Again, what is the condition here? It is greater than. Again, we need it on this side. So I'll mark it like this on here. So greater than this side. So greater than, I am marking the greater portion of this. So now you need to tell which all places or which all area both the lines are coinciding of both the sides. So it's here above this line. So here this part is not to be taken. Okay, this part is not to be taken, as here blue is not there. Here brown is not there. So these two are left. Here nothing is there, leave it. Here I am getting boxes. That means both the lines are coinciding. So I'll change the color again. I'll mark it with red. Okay. Which one? Feasible region. So which is feasible region? So I'll mark it like this. So here it's already there with pencil. So this is my feasible region. You need to be very careful. I should not go below this. Okay. Or below this also. So wherever I am marking red only is my feasible region. And this is a special case also where it is a unbounded problem, in the sense there is no bounded feasible region. So only one side I am having. So I'll draw a red line also. So this is my feasible region from here to above. So everything is my feasible region. How far you can go, this all is my feasible region. Okay, so this is an unbounded problem. There is no bound like this. Okay, there is no bounded region. So I am getting only points here. That is point A. This is my point B, and this is my point C. Okay, I'll just remove all these things. I hope till here it is what you call, you have understood. Okay, I'll just erase all. Okay, so I have marked there. So this is unbounded, and this is the region where I am interested in. So this is the feasible region. So just for your explanation, I am drawing two different areas of lines. Okay, of two different colors. So later on, again, after practicing, you will not require that. You will understand which area is merging with what. Okay. So here, which are those points? Point A, point B, and point C. Because only these 3 points are in touch with this particular feasible region. So point A, what is point A? 0, 144. Why 0? So it is not going anywhere towards the x-axis. So it is directly going to y-axis. So y-axis is how much? 140. It is 144. So that's why 0, 144. Second one, B. B is where? Here. So again, draw a straight line here down like this. Okay, and a horizontal line here will give me the horizontal one. So horizontal, so how far is x? So x is at 40, so it will be 40 here. Then how much is y? Y is at 80, so it will be 40 comma 80. Next comes C. So where is C? C is here. So how much it is? 240 comma 0. Why? Here it is 240 towards x-axis. Here it is 240. Okay, and height I am not having anything. So 240 comma 0 is my point C. So what we need to do? We need to write the max z or the objective function, substitute these values for point A, B, and C, then find out. Here it is min z. So I'll go to that part. We are having min z because we want to minimize the cost, and this is the equation. Then for point A, for point B, and for point C, substitute the equivalent values of x1 and x2, find out the values. So I am getting the values 3456, 3520, and 9600. So out of these three, which one is smallest? Yes, students, which one is smallest? 3456. So I'm using 3456. So I have to select point A. So we select point A as it has the lowest cost of all the other feasible solutions, and by 144 bags. So this is A, right? A. So this is A, and this is product B. Sorry, we need to buy 144 products of not A, 144 of B. Yeah, that's what I written B. So we need to go with feasible solution of A and buy 144 bags of product B to have my conditions met, plus I am getting that conditions met at the lower cost. So that's what is this. So those who have not done, please copy it fast. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes.
Sir,
Yeah,
sir, I haven't doubt.
yeah, ask.
Sir, you choose 144 as point A.
Yeah,
So why not 96?
why not 96? See here, I am having 0, 144, right? So this is my x1, that is for A, and this is for x2 for B. So if I am choosing this, so if it was not 0, it was there some number, I should have given by product B of product A of those many numbers, and product B of 144. So that's how it is. So these points are telling me how many bags to buy. Okay, so as I'm choosing point A because it is the lowest value that I am getting, so this will tell me how much to buy what. So 0, I should not buy any bags of product A, but I should buy 144 bags of product B, which I'll be having my required solution, that is getting greater than 4800 of, where it is, yeah, 4800 of phosphate, and getting more than 7200 of nitrogen. Okay, that is what is my requirement, right? More than this and more than the second one, right? More than nitrogen requirement, more than phosphorus requirement. So this is how we need to go about. So I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got it, right?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah, anyone, any doubts other than this? So we'll go back to the graph. Those who have not done it, do it fast.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So sometimes in graph, the point is very difficult, like to come accurate, like how it has come now. So,
Hmm.
so that time the values changes. Then it's okay, sir.
Yes, slightly it should change. Is it okay? It's okay, but it should not have a too much of deviation from what is the answer is. Okay, what the answer is. It should not be deviating too much. It depends on, again, I told you 2 to 3 problems are asked, and only one graph sheet is provided in the answer sheet, answer booklet. So we need to divide it into two parts. We can solve two sums in one graph sheet. The top part, top half we can solve one, bottom half we can solve one. So based on the availability of size, okay, or the availability of boxes, we need to take accordingly the scale. Okay, so if the numbers are very big like this, okay, 20, 40, 60, or if I'm taking 80, like 40, 40 ka interval, so it will be very difficult to find where is 22 or 24. In this case also it is a bit higher, okay, than 144. But I'm not getting exact value because I'm not having exact partitions. So if you take a graph sheet, there are exactly 10 partitions between centimeters. So you can directly find out. You can find out what each line is giving you. So here each line is giving me 2 points. Okay, 2 tens are 20. So 140 to 160, 10 lines are there. Each line will give me 2 points. Right. So exactly 144 I can mark. So in the graph sheet, it is very easy to get accurate answers. But it's okay if you're not using a graph sheet. That's why I told, if you're getting a graph sheet from somewhere, you can able to arrange it, like your older books or somewhere. If you have some graph sheets, you can use those and try to solve this particular sums. Okay, this will be beneficial for you. You can solve it like this also, like in a plain paper, but you will be finding those problems. Okay, if you are taking a scale, okay, if it is not kept straight, okay, at what angle you keep, it will be straight only as per the scale, but it will not be horizontal or it will not be vertical exactly. Okay, like the one I drew here, if I keep a scale here at a particular angle, I can draw like this. Even this is a straight line for a scale at this particular angle, but I don't need it at this particular angle. I want a straight line here which will give me 40, because I knew I had already written 40, so I am drawing. If it is going out also, I'll bring it to 40 here. Okay, similarly here there is a line, okay, at 80, so directly on top of the line I can draw. So similar advantage you will get in a graph sheet. Okay, so it's okay to have a little bit of variation than the exact answer. It should be very near, that's all. Okay, instead of
Okay, sir.
144 you might get 145. So that is not a case, because as you are marking at 144 only, this point you should get 0 comma 144, because this is 144, right? You already marked, so you know this particular value because you had marked at 144 only. Okay, so but the problem comes at the points where at the point B, if you see, it is somewhere in between. We need to find x, we need to find y. So how uh, on how x side it is moving and how much of y side it is moving. So that is where you get problems. So here we are having only 3 points. Only one point is there which is in between. The rest 2 points are on x-axis and y-axis. So it will not be any problem. So if you are having more number of lines or more number of constraints, so later problems we'll see. So there we'll be having some issues. Okay. So leave it. When we'll go there, we'll discuss about it. So I hope you have drawn this, students, completed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So shall I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you don't need more time. Fine. So next sum I want you to solve. Okay. So here I do directly the formulation is given. Okay. We'll get formulation something like this. Okay. So I have taken a formulation from a different sum. Okay. I have not given you the theory. So that's why this production and output has been written. Otherwise, directly max z subject to, they'll give you the equations. That's all. Okay. So try this particular graph. So there is something you'll ask me in between, I know. So for that only, that peculiar thing only, I have put this particular sum. So try drawing this particular graph and tell me what is the answer. First, students, we don't have much of time. I'll give you only 5 minutes maximum, and that is more for doing this because only one equation is going to see. Wait fast. Only thing here is the x1 comma x2, that is the non-negative condition is being cut. So I'll write it here. So even you need to write the non-negative condition, that is x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0. This also you need to write. Make sure you write it in the question. Write the question and draw the graph. Find out the points basically and draw the graph. Next step. If you complete, just let me know, students.
Sir, but in equation 2, the x2 is not provided, sir. Then how can we get the point y, sir?
That's what I was asking. Like I was waiting for this question only. So how to solve this? I hope you got the x1, the first one, production hours. I think you have got 2 points here. So here in output, if you see,
Yes.
one is x1 they have given, the other one is x2 they have given. Okay. So what we need to do is the other point will not be there. We need to draw a straight line. So this we need to take it as is equal to x1 is equal to 15, x2 is equal to 10. Okay. So I'll go to the answer now. So if you see here, so it is x1 by 24, x2 by 16. That means 24 and 16 are my points here. 24 is 1 here. Okay. Then 16 is here. So I'm drawing a line with the equation 2x1 plus 3x2 less than or equal to 48. Okay. Next, what is the next point? I'll go back. So output is x1. Okay. Now at present take 15. Okay. x1 is 15. So x1 means what? X-axis. So 15 is here. Again, I have taken 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So exactly at center of 14 and 16, I am having 15. So I need to draw a straight line, and it will not go and touch the y-axis. Okay. So I'll remove that line. Okay. So we need to draw a straight line. Okay, this straight line. So similarly, again, I'll go back. If you see here, next one is x2 is equal to 10. So as of now, take is equal to. So x2 is y-axis. So at 10, draw a horizontal line. So first, drawing the line is important. So draw all the line, mark the equations, what you have written, like for what particular equation you have taken it. Okay. Then you should focus on whether it is greater than or equal to, lesser than or equal to, whatever. Okay. Now in this case, if you see this less than or equal to 48. Less than means it should go this side. Okay. On x-axis, it should go this side. That means my area should be this one. Okay. Down. Yeah, this one. So under this is my area for this particular line. Okay. So now coming to this straight lines. So first I'll take x1 less than or equal to 15. So I told less than will go this side, more than will go this side. So which side we need to go? This is less than. So I need to focus on this side. My area will be for this particular line, it will be in this direction. Okay. So next coming to x2. So x2, it is again less than or equal to 10. So more than, if you want, I should go on this side, less than on this side. It's already written here. So this will be like this. So my area of requirement for this particular line would be this. Now just check which all areas are having all the lines. Okay, all the points are like, see here, this is below this line, this is under this, so again under this. So all the 3 points are all the 3 areas, or all the 3 what do you call constraints are basically present in this area. So that's why this is the feasible region for us. So the points that are going around this, okay, so I have taken A as this one, B as this one, C as this one, okay, and D as this one. Okay, I am not taking 0 because 0 will not give you anything. 0 into 0, it will tell you that is the lowest one, don't buy anything. So if you are minimizing the cost, if 0 is there in that, I mean origin is there, the best possible thing that you save everything, right? If you don't buy anything, you save everything. So that you will not take. So that is the least thing. Least one we are getting at 0, 0. So but we need to buy, right? We need to minimize the cost. Okay, not totally. If it says don't buy anything, you'll save all the amount that you are putting. So that will not work for us, right? So this is my feasible region. So you need to be able to find out what is the feasible region, how to find it. So you can mark anyhow. So mark the feasible region. This is my feasible region. And the points that are surrounding this, Points in the sense where two lines are cutting. So this x is cutting the y-axis here at A, and this line, that is 2x1 plus 3x2 less than or equal to 48, and x2 less than or equal to 10 is being cutting over at B. And at C, the x and y, x1 less than or equal to 15 and x2 less than or equal to 10 are cutting at C. Then D, x2 less than or equal to 10 and the x-axis are being cut. So these are the 4 points, A, B, C and D. So these are the points. 0, 0 I told, you may take it or may not, but it is there. It is there in the points where the feasible region is there. So it is encircling this also. So A, again 0, 10. So this is 10 already. 0 in the sense x side it is not there anything. So only 0 and 10. For B it is 9, 10. If you draw a line here straight, it will be somewhere between 8 and 9. So this is 9 here. 9 and this is already 10. If you draw a straight line, it is 10. So for C, again draw a straight line. You already know it is at 15 here. Okay. Then here if you see here again a line is there. It is at 6. 6 and 15. So it is 15, 6. And D, you already know where is D? Not this one. Here. D is here. So it is only on the x-axis. So it is 15, 0. So that will be my D. So substitute these in this particular equation. The equation is given to you. See here. What is the equation? 40x1 plus 80x2. Then find out. So what they have asked? Max z. So out of this, find out the maximum. I have not done that part. You can do it later. Okay. So understood?
Sir, I had one doubt.
Yeah.
In this first equation, we have found the values of x1 and x2, right?
Yes.
Okay, x1 and x2 we have plotted in the graph and we got a straight line.
Yeah, you got a
right?
straight line.
And regarding the output, they have given x1 and x2 value. Why can't we plot a straight line with x1 and x2 values
We are
instead
drawing,
of taking two different lines?
no, we are drawing a straight line only, no?
No, no, not that straight line. If x1 is 15, marking 15 downside
Okay.
and marking 10 on the y-axis, that is x2, and directly joining these 2 points.
Why at 10?
No, no.
Get point 10.
10 at x2, 10 on x2 line, that is y line, y-axis.
Okay, this I'll explain you sometime later because these are different constraints. Okay, these are not the same constraints. Okay, I got your point. You are asking me why can't we draw a line? Okay, I'll just remove all this.
Exactly, because in every equation we are finding x1 and x2
Yes.
and we are plotting those points. And
Yes.
in output they have given x1 and x2 only, then why we need to imagine or assume that we need to take 0 here and there?
I got your point. I'll just explain to you in the previous sum. Okay, coming here, even for nitrogen we are having x1 and x2 only. Okay, for phosphorus also I am having x1 and x2 only. Okay, but I can't interchange this. No, here I cannot make. Here I can make 50-50 because both are 50. I cannot make 20. This 20 I cannot bring it here because both are x1. I can say, but I cannot get this 20 here and 80 here. Okay, 80 has to be written here only because it is for nitrogen. For phosphorus, it is 20 only. Even if it is for x1 only, we are having x1 both. We cannot interchange this. So this is how it works. So one problem I'll solve like that. So first, for you to make understand, like we can write like this also. So I gave this particular equation. In the next class, I'll try to get one example like this. Okay, where formulation only will help you getting that x1 only or x2 only. Okay, so you'll get to know why we are writing there. So I got your point. You are asking me like this. So there is 10 and 15. Why can't we join it like this, right?
Right, exactly, yeah.
Because both are different constraints. Those are not related. Even though, as I explained in phosphorus and the nitrogen, we cannot interchange those x1. Both are having x1 only, but we cannot interchange because it is related to nitrogen and the other one is related to phosphorus. So here also, in the formulation part, when they give you that particular paragraph, there you will get to know why only x1 is taken and why only x2 is taken. Okay, that kind of problem I'll teach you in the next class. Okay, first I wanted to make sure that you know only x1 and x2 can exist without the other one. Okay, so if x1 is there and x2 may not be there, or only x2 be there and x1 may not be there. So this is that case. Okay, but only thing is you need to make sure you write these properly, that less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. That will give you the feasible region. So if you mark wrong feasible region, you are getting wrong points and you will end up with wrong answer. Okay, so that is very important. So this is wrong. What we are doing or what you are asking me is a valid question only, but we cannot do this. This is wrong. We cannot draw. Fine. Any other questions here? Okay, rightly asked, Gajan. Good. Both are different constraints. That's the only thing. So anyone, any doubts in this? So why we did what we did? So we need to take is equal to. Remember, so greater than or is equal to is there. So first we make it is equal to. Draw a line at 15. Draw a line at 10. Based on whether it is x1 or x2. Then later on, after drawing all the lines, we need to find out whether it's less than or greater than. Okay. So even I can change anything. So I can make it instead of less than. I can not this one. I can make this greater than. If I make this greater than, instead of going down, I need to go up. So my region will be this. Then we need to find which all area comes under this. So this one again, if you see, it goes back this side. Okay, so from here we are having. So my feasible region will be this, and not this one. My feasible region will become this part, whichever I am drawing now. This part will be my feasible region. If I just change one angle, in the sense instead of taking less than, if I take greater than here in this place, instead of taking less than here, if I make it greater than, so instead of me getting this part as feasible region, I'll get this part as feasible region. So this is how you may end up in the examination if you are not able to find out the feasible region properly. Just with one variation, complete area is changing. Okay, so I'll just remove this off again. I hope you understood. Okay, so next again I'll give you one more question. So write this. Use the graphical method to solve the following LPP. I think this might be a question paper problem. Okay, because this theory and all is given. I mean, use and all. So this might be a question paper problem. Somewhere long back they might have asked this question. So try this. So if you see here, there are 4 constraints. Okay, first, yeah. This is the first one. First constraint. Second constraint is this side. Third is this one. So fourth is this one. So in the previous sum, if you see, there were 3 constraints. Okay, 3 lines are there. One, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Okay. So now in this one, I'm having 4 constraints. So what is my objective function? You should write OF while you're writing OF, comma. What is the objective function? Comma max z is equal to 2x1 plus x2, subject to st, comma, then write 1, 2, 3, 4, then this particular thing. So actual representation I'm telling you. Then find out x1 and x2 in this particular sum. Okay. So this is a bit complicated than the previous sums what you have solved. Okay. Next level. I took you to the next level actually. So try this and try to get the feasible region properly. Okay, so I'll give you the solution also of this, not an issue, but whether your feasible region and my feasible region is matching or no, we'll find out. Then if you find a feasible region, then find the points also will be the same. Okay, substitute it in the objective function, then get the answer. That's all. Don't take too much of time. If you are done with it, I'll not ask you any questions. Just tell me you are done. Okay, so that I'll show you the solution. Then you can compare your solution with my solution, whether you have got the same answer or not. So one hint I want to give you here. So we'll be reaching in negative sides also, okay, of x and y axis. So you know from origin it is 0. So we are only taking the plus side. So right side we are going in horizontal direction for plus side. So for minus we will be going on the left hand side. So similarly for x axis on top we are going for the positive values, and below 0, okay, we are going for negative values. Similarly 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. On the other side, that is bottom, it will be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So why I am telling you is you are getting some points in negative also. So don't get panicked, or don't like second guess your answer whether it is right or wrong. Your answer is right if you are getting points in negative also. Okay. So again there will be some issues, I know. So please ask me when you encounter any.
Sir, in a fourth equation, we already got more than less than equal to 1, sir.
Less than
So
or-
we have to
Yes, Shivam, please repeat your question.
sir, in a fourth equation, we already get 1, sir. So we can divide with the whole equation with 1, sir, once again.
Yeah, if you divide with one, the equation remains the same. So you use the
Yes, sir.
different second method. Okay. So in the initial phase only you are doing it, right? So you will be getting confused. That's why I'm giving a different set of problems to you. Like use the second method here. You will get the answer properly. Put x1
Yes,
is
sir.
equal to 0, then put x2 is equal to 0. So you'll get the values.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I even told you both the methods. Okay. Because in some of the places you'll get confused with the first method. Okay. In some of the places you'll get confused with the second method. So use interchangingly. So where you are finding issues in method 1, use method 2. So if you are using method 2, if you are getting confused somewhere, use method 1. Mm, okay, students, the time is up. I don't know whether you are having next class or no. So it's already 12:32. Okay. So I think there is one more class for you after this. So I don't want to continue further. So take this as an homework for today. So we'll solve the answer, or we'll check out the answer for this in the next class. Okay. So if you are having any doubts while solving, please make a note of it so that you could ask me in the next class. I know there should be some problems while drawing the graph or while solving this, like how Shubham got. Okay. Similarly, if you try solving it, even you will get some questions. Okay, what to do and all. So note down these questions and keep. Okay, and you can ask me in the next class. Okay, we will stop for today and we'll continue in the next class.